kick this thing off. We've got a bridge to open. Dignitaries here. In fact, I even saw Bob Gregory, our past city manager, walking around. He was over here now, Bob. A lot of good things going on. We've got R.A. Long here. I mean, we've got all kinds of good things happening. So with that, I'd like to formally welcome all those who braved the weather on this fine December 2nd, 2015, to be here in person and witness the official ribbon cutting ceremony of today's Washington Way Bridge opening. I'd also like to mention those council members that are here. I saw Ken Botero, he's over here. Chet Kinster is there. I don't know if there are any other council members here, but pardon me? Oh, Scott's here somewhere. I didn't see him yet. Now, way back in the back. He's doing a great job for us. In a moment, City Manager Dave Campbell will introduce our special guests that we have here today. Also, there will be various speakers to explain the history and intricate structure and learn some facts and interesting trivia about this remarkable project and what I consider a beautiful bridge. I'd like to personally thank everyone who worked so diligently on funding, design, and detail of the construction of this bridge. I'm sure all of those who have had to find a different route for their daily commute for the past year, like me, will really appreciate this bridge being open after the year-long project. Best of all, I'm told that from a pretty high source that we're not going to put any tolls on this bridge. So, with that, Mr. Campbell, Dave Campbell, our city manager.
Thank you, Don. I have a long list of people to recognize and also to thank for being part of the ceremony, but also part of the last year's worth of construction. And some of you are here and you will be recognized more than once, I know. There are some people that I want to thank that may not be here, but also do deserve a word of thanks for being part of this project. Let me start with the elected officials. The mayor mentioned that we have at least 3 council members present. Councilmember McKinster, Vidra, and Botero. And certainly other council members, whether they're here or not, need to be thanked because of the funding that was made available from the city. A large part of the funding came from the state, originating from the federal government, but we have some local dollars that were part of this project too. So thank you, Mayor Jensen and the rest of the city council. County commissioners, I'm not sure if any of you are present. I did see Commissioner Karnofsky this morning. He thought he might be able to get here, and I don't know whether Commissioner Weber or Gardner are here also, but thank you if you are in the crowd somewhere. We do have representatives from the federal delegation, and I'd like to acknowledge David Hodges representing Senator Murray's office, and Pam Piper representing Representative Jamie Herrera Butler. Is Dina Horton here from Senator Cantwell's office? I haven't seen her yet, but thank you for coming here and representing the federal delegation, because as I said, some of the dollars, a large part of the funding for this project originated with federal appropriations. I don't know if we have our state delegation or state office holders here, but I've been told at least that Darcy Miller from Senator Tacko's office may have been able to be here, and also Don Thomas from Representative Brian Blake's office. Again, thank you to the state legislators who are helpful in securing transportation funding of various sorts for us over the years. Locally, besides the elected officials, Sandy Cat, I did see somewhere in the crowd, communications officer for the school district. Thank you for helping to arrange the band. I want to say the band was my idea, but thank you for making it happen. And it is nice to have the Mark Morris High School marching band and the director, Reagan Huffman. I see the band. I'm sure the director is somewhere. Good to see you. Thank you for being here and making a real festive occasion today. Phil Suick, Mark Morris High School principal. Don't know if I see him. I do see our superintendent, though. Thank you for being here. Dave Lamb, who will be driving the old Longview fire truck. Thank you for being the driver for that important vehicle. Christine Randall and the Rely Local trolley. Christine is standing by the trolley. We have a couple of special guests here. R.A. Long and your wife. Thank you for you're looking very good.
Given your age.
And his driver, Archie Bale. Archie brought a car to transport Mr. Long and his wife as part of the occasion here. And Mr. Long will be speaking to us later in the program also. We have members of the Parks and Recreation Board who will also be represented by the department as part of this project too. This bridge is located in historic Lake Sacagawea Park, and it's nice to have a structure like this contributing to the historic park. Members of the Historic Preservation Commission, I know at least one of you will be speaking again later in the program. The Sandbaggers. Hard to miss, right in front here. You don't want them. And I did see, where did Sandy go?
Sandy is right over here.
Thank you. Photo opportunity.
Is this Squirrel Bridge number 7?
Squirrel Bridge number 7.
All right. We brought the paint.
Arlene Hubble representing the 23 Club. Thank you, Arlene. Craig Bozarth, our city engineer, will be speaking after me, and he will recognize the contractors and other people who were part of the construction of the project. I think that's the end of my list. We could have built another bridge, I think, by the time I got through this list of people to recognize and thank. Thank you for everybody being here as part of the event today. I'll be back in a few minutes to give you some instructions about pictures that will be taken and the procession across the bridge. But for now, Craig Bozarth, our city engineer, will tell us a little bit more about the technical details of the project.
All right, thank you, Manager Campbell, Mayor Jensen here and Council. It's been a privilege to work on this project, and this is an exciting day for me. For somebody that grew up in this community and spent a lot of time walking under this bridge, this is kind of an important place in this community, and it's not a type of project that my staff gets to work on very often. We build water projects and sewer projects, and those end up getting buried up under the ground, and people don't see them. So it's an exciting day. I get to cross the project off my list. That's not the only reason it's an exciting day. Again, a great bridge to bring to the community. A lot of people it takes to build a project like this. We start out in the design process and go all the way through construction. I'd like to recognize some of my city staff, my engineering staff. I doubt there's anybody on my staff that hasn't touched this project in one way or another. Other departments in the city, our parks department, our traffic department, and others. A special recognition to Ivona Kinnemuth. Can you wave your hand out there? She has been the project manager on this project and has taken it all the way from the beginning through the design process. Many of you remember some of the open houses, public meetings, our boards and commissions, all the permitting that we had to get for the project. She's been involved through it all and all the way through construction. She'll be working on this project for months after this, so it doesn't end here for her. A lot of paperwork and punch list things to wrap up on the bridge. Again, a lot of people have a lot of design consultants. OBEC Consulting I know is here. Jason Kelly here from OBEC took us through construction. Tim Schell was involved in the design. A lot of other sub-consultants. Kittleson and Associates did the traffic design. Artifacts Consulting, a historic park here. They helped us with the historic aspects of the project. Greenworks did the architectural design for us. Gibson Olson, I think I saw somebody here, did the storm drain design and surveying for the project. GRI did the geotechnical investigation and design, and Ecological Land Services helped us with the environmental permitting. Our contractor, Colby, I saw him running around here somewhere from Carter and Company. They've been working on this project for the last year, and I apologize for any of the inconveniences, but we are here and we are done now. There were roughly 27 subcontractors and suppliers. I'm not going to go through and list them all, but there are, again, a lot of people it takes to build a project like this, and thank you all for putting your effort in to get this project open here today. I wanted to talk a little bit about the old bridge that was here. That bridge was here for 80 years and served this community quite well. You think about what a bridge like that withstood over the years, just typical rain, snowstorms, ice, some pretty significant windstorms over that 80 years. Flooding in the community, a tornado came not too far from here and the bridge seemed to survive that. And then some of you may remember a little bit of vandalism we had on the bridge. We had a sinkhole right out here under the approach, and it was reported that possibly there were some kids that took some sand out from under the bridge and that caused that sinkhole. So the old bridge did well for us. We nursed it along, made some repairs to it. It was widened a couple of times, but ultimately we decided to replace it. And in 2012 we applied for the funding, and in November of 2012 we received that funding. Dave mentioned some of the people that were helpful in getting that. About $5.3 million in federal funds came to the project. It was about a $6.5 million project total. And without those funds, I doubt that we'd be standing here today to open this bridge. A relatively short time frame. A lot of kudos again to Ivona for pushing this project along. 3 years from the time we received the funding to when we're standing here today to open the bridge. And for those of us in this industry and public works projects, that's a pretty short time frame to turn a project like this around. I'll talk a little bit about the new bridge. Dave mentioned it's a bridge that sits in a park that's on the National Register of Historic Places. It's kind of a unique project for that reason. I'm not going to talk a lot about the history. Gary Nordine here is going to, from the Historic Preservation Commission, is going to talk about a little bit more of the history. Another thanks though to that commission. A lot of help there, a lot of collaborative approach to looking at the design and coming up with the design features for this bridge that fits well within this park. A couple things I will talk about though, as you walk across the bridge to take a look at, the sidewalks. If you walk around our Old West Side, you'll notice the sidewalks are maybe a little bit different than newer sidewalks that we build. When we build sidewalks, they come out white, a pretty manicured, broomed finish. When we put the sidewalks on this bridge, we tried to match those old sidewalks that were original from R.E. Long back in the 20s when they were constructed. They get a little tinting to kind of have a gray color, a little bit of an exposed aggregate to kind of look weathered. And then the scoring pattern on those matches all of the old sidewalks in the area. If many of you remember, this was an asphalt street all the way from Nichols all the way over here to Kessler. What many of you might not have known is that the original hexagonal panels that are somewhat unique to Longview were underneath of that asphalt. Well, when we built the bridge, we put all hexagonal panels back in this section of the bridge, some new ones over on the Nichols side, and we actually uncovered some of the asphalt, and the original panels that were built here in the 20s remain, and they're in pretty good condition. So you'll notice some different concrete on that side of the bridge, and that's part of the reason some of those were original to the bridge. Some fun facts about the bridge. I'm an engineer, I've got to throw out some numbers here. So there were about 15,000 labor hours went into constructing the bridge. About 75,000 pounds of rebar, about 250 concrete truckloads. And if you can imagine the weight of all of that, and sitting on the soils here in Longview, I built a lot of projects here and we don't have the best soils in Longview. So we needed something to support that. There were over 700 pile driven into here, and many of you endured the months of pounding, and I apologize for that, but it was necessary to hold up the bridge. But some interesting facts about that. Again, about 700 piles. The wood piles were about 50 feet deep. The steel piles were about 120 feet deep. That's almost 8 miles of pile that went into this bridge. So if you took those pile and laid them end to end around the trail of the park here, over 2 times all the way around the park, those piles would have covered. So again, I'm excited to be here today and bring this bridge to you. The memories that I think this bridge will bring to the future generations of people. You think about the number of people that walk under this bridge with their family and kids. A much better memory walking under this bridge than the bridge that was here before. So again, enjoy your bridge. I'm going to turn it over, I believe, to Gary Nordine, or do you want it back again, Dave? I'll turn it over to Gary here. He's going to talk a little bit about the history. Again, an interesting project because of the history.
Thank you. Today I represent the Longview Historic Preservation Commission, which includes Cam Hanna, Tom Anderson, Bill Cash, Doris Disbrow, Abe Ott, Janelle Carnegie, and me. Along with City Planner Adam Trimble, our responsibility is to encourage the conservation of the city's historic resources, review proposed changes to historic registered properties, and to raise community awareness of the city's history. And today we stand in a dream. This city and this park was conceived in a boardroom in Kansas City by a man, R.A. Long, well respected and known for his Christian convictions and his dreamers. This dream was thought through with men such as J.C. Nichols and George Kessler, names we think of as streets. And together they planned out this vision to the point that every tree in this park was blueprinted and the lake bank groomed to precise angles. The designers of the park, Hare and Hare, estimated the cost for Lake Sacagawea, then called Fowler's Lake, in 1923 to be $800,000. R.A. Long personally covered the expenses for improvements to the park, which benefited his taxes and provided clear authority of who owned the lake. Adjusted for inflation, it would take over $11 million to construct Lake Sacagawea Park today. These men set out to grow more prosperous and blessed with the establishment of this city. They expected to have an effect on the whole world. They dreamed big dreams, and we are the recipients of those dreams, expectations, and blessings. But even with well-laid plans, there were things that were not built. This Washington Way Lake crossing started as a temporary wood bridge in 1925. As automobile traffic increased, the bridge and roadway widened to keep pace. The first widening occurred in 1935 by replacing the bridge with a similar, though wider, wood bridge. This bridge was then widened in 1957 and again in 1964 to its current width. These width increases were driven exclusively by automobile use, with no increased accommodations for pedestrian or bicycle use. The visionary design team Hare and Hare saw the important part the bridges at Louisiana and Hemlock Streets, here at Washington Way and 20th Avenue would play in the complete landscape picture of the lake and of the necessity of good architectural design in these bridges. Correspondence indicates that R.A. Long envisioned concrete bridges. The temporary bridge has finally been taken down, and today we celebrate the completion of this part of the vision. And so we dedicate a bridge that completes a dream from the past and is designed for the future. Mr. Long.
Well, I'm getting old. You know, I was born in 1850. That was 165 years ago. But I don't feel a day over 120. And I am glad to be here and see this bridge. And it looks first rate. And that's the way we always built, first rate. We built the world's biggest sawmills. We built a complete and functioning city. And right where we're standing right now, this was a swamp. And we took teams of horses and dredged that swamp. And here we have it today. And we built bridges over it. I remember the bridge looked similar, and I had two thoughts when I saw it. It was sturdy and elegant. And now, finally, I find out this replacement, was made of concrete. And you know, the Romans used concrete to build such things as the Colosseum and the Pantheon, the aqueducts. And they lasted a couple of thousand years. So that when I come back to visit you in a couple hundred years, I'm sure this bridge is going to look just as fine as it does today, both sturdy and elegant. Thank you. Good.
Thank you again, Mr. Long and wife, for being here as part of this dedication. Should we also introduce your alter egos, or do you just want to stay Robert A. Long for today?
I don't know what you mean. I am Robert A. Long.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. If Robert A. Long says he's Robert A. Long, I don't want to destroy any illusions. I remember when my kids learned that there was somebody who they knew who was playing Santa Claus several years ago, and this month some other kids may learn about that too. But you're Robert A. Long. So a couple other things before I give some directions for the ribbon cutting. Councilor Mary Jane Malink is here too. She wasn't here right at the beginning, but thank you for being here as part of the rest of the City Council. And I also wanted to re-acknowledge our former city manager, Bob Gregory. Bob was the city manager when this project started about 13 months ago. My office was actually about 4 blocks that direction, and I was one of the ones whose daily commute was interrupted at the time. I put a yellow sticky on the dashboard of my car because I need that sort of thing from time to time to remind me, no Washington Way Bridge. This afternoon I'll take that yellow sticky off the dashboard of my car. So, the ribbon cutting will occur across the street. So if as many of you as possible can gather on that side of the street, there will also be a picture taken from an aerial view, and we'd like to have that recorded as part of the event. So for now, if those of you that are on this side want to cross the street and join for the ribbon cutting itself, we'd appreciate that. Thank you.